Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Doomie Grunt, as always. I haven't got much of an intro for this video. I apologize. Footage is kind of limited because I had to rely on the camera glasses for this one, but here we are at the Inlet Square Mall on the south side of Myrtle Beach in South Carolina. And, well, let's get to it, shall we? Here we're coming up to Stein Mart, and you can see all that empty space that's just completely wasted at this point. And while we're making our way towards Belk, I wanted to say that I actually kind of like the way the renovation turned out. It's just a shame that the renovation took way too long, and ironically, that's what ultimately killed this mall. Which is a shame too, because, as I've said already, the mall looks nice. Most companies that would renovate a mall would make it into a big beige or white blob, and in addition they'd also wall off many of the storefronts, making it look like a big empty corridor. For an example, if this mall was renovated by Hall Property Group, the floor would be covered in beige or brown carpet, and that Belk facade we saw earlier probably wouldn't even look as elegant as it did now. And that Belk facade would be the only thing you'd see in this entire corridor. I'm not quite sure why I focused on this light fixture for a few seconds, but it looked kinda nice. Here we're coming up to a pretty sad looking community room, and then this whole rack of brochures that probably has never been touched in several days maybe. Alright, if my horrendous head movement hasn't made you sick already, you can see a Bath & Body Works in the far distance. It's like one of the only stores left in this mall, and now it's classified as an anchor. I guess desperate times call for desperate measures. And then here, you can see the area around what used to be JCPenney. And Penny's had a pretty cool looking mirror facade. I like those. Come on, you know I can't leave that label scar unnoticed. As we're headed towards this ice cream and coffee bean shop, we're gonna get one more look at the center court, which again looks nice but is kind of a little barren. I imagine they have a temporary stage they'd set up for events, assuming they could get anyone for those events and people to see those events. What the hell am I even saying? And then we're gonna go way back here. To the left is Planet Fitness, and then to the right was a former Weight Watchers stand, and then a little further down was a children's play area, which I didn't focus very much on for obvious reasons. And then at the end of the hallway here, we come up to the former Kmart, which has an impressive looking facade actually. I'm actually quite surprised by how many Kmart facades I have seen in my travels. I've seen basic and boring, and then I've seen like impressive and fancy. Anyway, headed back the way we came. I focused on this particular storefront because I heard some noise coming from it. I'm not sure if it was being gutted or if stuff was being moved around to make way for something new, but if a new business is moving in there, that would probably be great for this mall actually. So here we get a look at Books A Million, and then at the end of the corridor down there was the former Cinnabol, which seeing that leave was a really devastating blow for this mall. You know, because that was pretty much mixed use at its finest. And to see that leave the mall, regardless of whatever reason, is just devastating for it. So anyway, we're about to leave the mall now. I hope you enjoyed this camera glasses walkthrough with me. I do have more content coming in the future, so do stick around for that. Hope you enjoyed this walkthrough, and until next time, this is Doomie Grunt signing off.